Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a, quad one game on the schedule, you want to play good basketball and give yourself a chance. And we're fortunate to do that here on the road.
Phil was saying in his presser a couple days ago that he looks at you guys on film and he said it was like looking in the mirror. Kind of referring to the growth that both teams have had since the beginning of the year. How happy are you 5 weeks into this with where you are winning a game like this on the road right now compared to where you started November 3rd?
Yeah, I mean, we feel good about the result, but I think it's important for our team to understand that, we got a lot of basketball left, and so I don't want to downplay it because we really played well in a tough environment, but we want to understand that like we got here by improving, right? We put ourselves in position to play good basketball because we've gotten better over the last month, and each time out we've played a little bit better, at least in certain areas, and I think our guys can feel the growth, and and we don't want to just settle for that or this level. Like, we think there's better basketball in front of us, and we think we can continue to improve. So we're going to continue to focus on that and try to keep getting better and try to learn some things and improve even in the wins, and understand that you're never as good as you feel when you win, and you're never really as good as or as bad as you feel when you lose. The reality is somewhere in the middle. So we're just going to focus on our process and keep getting better. Our guys are buying into that, and we're just really proud of their performance and the toughness they played with tonight.
All right, so I'm already started writing what I'm writing for tomorrow, and I kind of mentioned that, like, in a game that you guys almost probably handed away with that offensive rebounding or inability to stop them on the offensive boards in the first half, when they were just killing you on the boards, like the biggest play was Tomislav coming up with a rebound there at the end. How big was it to have Tomislav come up with that board in that moment in a game that was his worst rebounding game of the season so far?
Yeah, I thought that last possession for him was fantastic. Him specifically in that one, Coach Roberts had the scout, told him, if it goes to 17, be alert for the fake handoff, drive it, put his chest on it, forced a tough shot, and then went and got it in traffic. And we talked to him coming out of the huddle like, hey, we got to get the ball back in this one, and he went and got it for us. It was a big play.
So not just the rebound, obviously. I mean, he finished the possession with the rebound, but like it was his defense that really contested it in a way that kind of altered it.
Yeah, I thought he made the play both defensively to force the miss and then to finish the play. So really good job from him in what probably wasn't his best game, but JT Rock played awesome off the bench and really I think he was plus 18 in 18 minutes. That's huge for us, and he's another guy who's improving, right? And we got a lot of guys who are getting better, and JT was awesome tonight.
How were you guys able to correct, I guess, if that's the right word? You can correct me if that's not the right word, but what were you guys able to do at halftime to sort of change the way they were offensive rebounding?
Well, I think it starts with the shots they're getting. Like we felt like they were getting too much in the paint, too much in the free throw line in the first half. And so if they're getting all the way to the rim and we're bringing help and then they're shooting it with 2 on the ball, then we're outnumbered on the glass. So it's not just the glass, right? Like there's, how do we get to that? What positions are we in? What shots do we force? Like all that stuff kind of contributes to the outcomes. We felt like first half was a lot of points in the paint, straight line drives, transition. On a couple makes, they raced it down and scored or got fouled, getting to the free throw line. So those are things that we feel like we can control, right? And so we talked about them. I thought it got better before halftime. I thought we improved in some of that. We talked about it in a couple of the media timeouts. I thought we closed the half better in that area, and that kind of got us to down 5 at the half. We felt pretty good about that, given, hey, a lot of controllable things are out there for us. And so, we just kind of focused on the things that we want to do and try to execute better, and guys did a great job.
All right, I will nitpick one end of half decision to have Tomislav out on the floor and pick up that third foul. Would it have been better to have JT out there?
I mean, in retrospect, sure.
I'm really good at that kind of coaching.
Yeah, no, I think, it's the same process for the players, where we want them to look at the film and, right, like we're going to evaluate how we did. I wasn't perfect in all the decisions, maybe could have used a timeout to set some up to help them get the ball in instead of saving it for the end. So there's all kinds of things when you go through the game that you'd like to have back. We wanted to switch in that possession, which is why we went with Tomislav. Well, they didn't set the screen, and we got beat off the dribble, so he got into a help position. So, I'll take that one, but also we're always going to be aggressive with foul trouble. Like I'm not gonna foul guys out. I really try hard not to limit their minutes based on the foul trouble. So we'll take an aggressive approach. It won't always work out for us, but in general, I think we're able to maximize our players by being aggressive in that situation. And that doesn't mean that specific decision is correct, but that's kind of the approach we take to foul trouble. Is when we play guys with 3 and 4, 2 in the first. Like I don't want to limit their minutes and look back and they could have played an extra 4 or 5 minutes, especially the most impactful guys.
Jake getting the game he had and getting some space against a team that was pressuring him and on him even before he started to hit a couple. I could tell they were on him. How was Jake able to bounce back from what happened Saturday with him? It wasn't his best game, and get some space tonight?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's a really good player, right? So that's helpful. And so I think he has a lot of confidence in himself. We have a ton of confidence in him. And, I think he got the first one to go through, and you could tell he was kind of feeling it when he was, taking a couple off the dribble and, being really aggressive. That's a pretty good sign, and we want him to do that and keep doing that. And he got us going early, got us back in the game in the first half, or at least kept us in contact, and then hit the big one to go up 3 late. So, we want him taking shots, start to finish in the game, but specifically big moments like that, we got a lot of confidence in that kid.
And then I will get a quick question on Luke. Jake said Luke at halftime had a nice little message for his teammates that Jake did not want to repeat, but Luke I thought had himself a pretty good game. Had a couple moments that, you'd probably wish was back. The free throw being one of them, but Luke still seems to be doing those things that you've said that he brings, right? That don't always show up on the stat sheet. Were you even in there in the locker room when Luke had a word with his teammates?
No, I wasn't there, so I don't know what was said, but
does it surprise you to hear that maybe Luke had a word?
No, like Luke Luke knows what's going on. He like if Luke told me something, I would listen to that too. So he's got a great understanding of the game. He knows what we need to do on the floor. I think he had a great week. I look back at Santa Clara and felt like maybe I didn't have him out there enough because he impacted the game in a lot of ways. I think he's playing good basketball for us. Like the way he's playing. His leadership is important. His physicality is important, and he made a bunch of big plays throughout the game, and we got a lot of confidence he'll continue to make winning plays.
Yeah, no, I mean, it feels great. I really wanted that first one. Thought I got fouled, but I just need to keep shooting. Stay confident, and my team needed me, and I knew this was a game. We're gonna have to put points on the board. So.
All right, so you guys did put points. You got 81. They're a good defensive team, ranked top 20 in the country in defensive efficiency. What was it about what they did that kind of opened the door for you guys to have 81-point game?
Yeah, I mean, it played into our strengths a little bit. Our guard, we have super quick downhill guards, and they stay more attached in the gap. So it's not really a gap-heavy team like we saw against Santa Clara. So, them just staying more attached to shooters and on the wings created lanes for our guards. And then we think Tomasoff had he had a good game. I don't know, he probably doesn't think so, but. We knew he had some advantages there, and, just took advantage of them.
All right, so you guys, for 2 games in a row now, Santa Clara kind of had a similar approach where they were playing up on you, and you guys kind of were able to blow by them. Dayton had a great game Saturday, obviously. Were you a little surprised that for the second game in a row that a team kind of took that approach and kind of did that?
I mean, I don't think it's a good approach, but we weren't surprised. We knew that's what they did, and
that's what they do, right?
and we knew. We knew Dave was going to have a big game against Santa Clara. He had a great game today, making good decisions. He had an unbelievable end-of-drive decision-making game against Santa Clara. Unbelievable. Dayton's such a great point guard, and, I love playing with him.
All right, so you getting open, though, they were on you all night. Even early, even before you got hot, they were on you. How were you able to find space?
Just picking my spots wisely and, getting into that empty ball screen, that first one, pull up. And just finding advantages. Got another one off the ball screen in the second half with the step back. So I think just finding advantages where I could get them, and obviously moving off the ball. I think it's really hard to stay with shooters off the ball. So just doing my job off the ball, and obviously being a great screener too. Being a great screener can get you open shots too. So just focusing on that.
I'm curious. At halftime, you guys were just getting eaten up. You guys got roughed up in the first half on the boards.
Yeah.
I think it was 12. It was 10 second chance points off 12 offensive rebounds, or maybe add that flip. But either way, they were beating you guys up on the offensive glass. What was it at halftime that sort of corrected that?
Yeah, I mean, Luke came in all fired up and just gave the team a really, inspirational message. Like, I'm not going to say the specifics of what he said, but
inspirational. Can't repeat it, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely added some fire to us coming out of the halftime break.
That second half, you pick up 3 fouls in 2 possessions. You came into tonight. I looked it up because I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
You're ranked 114th in the country and 1.7 fouls per 40 minutes committed. So you're not committing fouls.
Yeah.
And then you commit 2 on 1 possession. One of them led to a 3-point play. The next possession, I'm guessing you're even more mad about that foul than any because it was out on the 3-point line. It wasn't like the guy was shooting or anything like that. What happened in those 2 defensive possessions that they were able to go at you and get you off the floor?
Yeah, I mean, the first one, just got to be a better individual defender. I think, obviously, I need to work on that. And then the fourth personal foul, I thought that was a terrible call coming off the ball screen. He ran right into me and, flopped. But, we knew coming in they were going to get home court advantage calls and, just got to keep playing.
You guys had a few timeouts. They had a few timeouts in that final minute where you guys were able to set up defense, set up offense, back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm curious what that feeling was like in that huddle.
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting, obviously, and I just knew I wanted to come in and, hit the big shot or make a big play to, get the win.